to God, to Pastor Adams, to my preaching brothers, and to my brothers and sisters in Christ. Let us bow for a word of prayer. Eternal God, our Father, we come right now, Father, first to say thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
Father, then we ask right now just for your permission to stand behind this desk and proclaim your word today, Father. We ask right now that you just remove my gray and you be seen right now, Father. And Father, we ask right now that you just let me speak, that the people will get something out of this word today, Father. We ask right now that you just let me let go and let God today, Father. We ask right now that you just let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable unto you. We ask right now all these things in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. You have your Bibles this afternoon. Turn to the book of Mark, the 10th chapter, beginning at the 46th verse until the end. Mark 10 and 46. And it reads, "And they came to Jericho, and as he went out of Jericho with his disciples, and a great number of people, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the highway side begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And many charged him that he should hold his peace. But he cried the more a great deal, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. And they called the blind man, saying unto him, Be of good comfort, rise, he calleth thee. And he casting away his garment, rose and came to Jesus. And Jesus answered and said unto him, What wilt thou that I should do unto thee? The blind man said unto him, Lord, that I might receive my sight. And Jesus said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith has made thee whole. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way." And if you would just allow me for a couple of moments with your amens, I'll be out your way. Talk about this afternoon, Lord, do it. I'm sure that we all are familiar with the famous slogan, just do it. That Nike came out over some years ago marketing one of the all-time greatest basketball players, Michael Jordan. It was whatever you wanted to achieve, just do it. But this morning, I want to talk to you about instead of just doing it, Lord, do it. But have you ever found yourself in a place where it just seems like nothing was going right? Every time you turned around, it was this, it was that. You at times felt like the world was against you. You are weighed down with a lot of everyday issues, and you just wanted to just throw up your hand and just give up. But then you realized that there is someone else worse off than you. And your complaining is just complaining. A lot of us like to dwell in our own pity parties, where we want people to feel sorry for us. But instead of us taking it to the Lord in prayer and just asking, Lord, do it. But I'm reminded of the song that was penned by the late Reverend James Cleveland. And it said, Lord, do it.
Yes.
Do it for me right now. Lord, do it. These are three powerful words. When you feel like you're just ready to give up, and we feel like the world is against you, or even when you feel like your back is against the wall, Lord, do it. In our times of need, we often call on that family or friend, asking them if they could do something for us. But in reality, they're not able to help you. They say The saying goes, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. But as we look at our text this morning, we see where Jesus had performed this miracle of opening the eyes of a blind man, a pitiful person named Bartimaeus. He is sitting by the highway begging, and his blindness is a pity, and his having to beg is a greater pity. Yet through the great providence of God, Bartimaeus is soon to be healed of his illness, and will then become a follower of Jesus. Zacchaeus was a chief tax collector of this area. He became a wealthy man from the taxes levied on products of that region. But we know where there is wealth, so there are also beggars. And Jericho had not only its Herods and Zacchaeus, but it had also its Bartimaeus. And two blind beggars became the object of this miracle. Blindness is not easily cured. In all the Old Testament, there is no account of any blind person receiving their sight. No disciples of the Lord were involved in restoring sight to a blind person. But as to the number of blind men healed, there were two. And Mark and Luke focused only on one of them, which was Bartimaeus. But then again, neither writer stated that there was only one healed. And if they had stated such an event, there would be a clear contradiction. But since Matthew declared that there were two, evidently Bartimaeus was the great aggressor of the two. And likely he became a believer and a well-known member of the Christian church, while the other unnamed man may not have been. But we see Bartimaeus was pleading with the Lord as he entered into Jericho, but was not healed until the Lord left the city later. But let us first look at the condition of Bartimaeus. The condition of Bartimaeus was he was blind. And we need to consider the hardness of his condition. See, there are many hardships associated with one being blind. Every activity that Bartimaeus performed was to be done with greater difficulty than one who was capable of seeing. And with his blindness being a type of the sinner's heart, one can easily compare the blind man to the sinner. And the way of the transgressor is hard. The Word of God tells us this. Everything that takes place as a result of the sin curse becomes more of a burden with the passing of time. What may start out as a pleasurable sin will soon turn into a heavy burden. And we need to consider the heartbreak of his condition. Being reduced to nothing more than a beggar must have been awfully heartbreaking to him. And this condition also pictures the sinner in his depravity. He is emotionally and spiritually drained like a person who has been beaten down and left in that pitiful state. Then we need to consider the hopelessness of his condition. Bartimaeus, humanly speaking, had been reduced to the place of hopelessness. Apart from a miracle, day in and day out, he had to cope with every aspect of blindness. He would wake up with the same plaguing thoughts, another day of the same old thing, wondering if anyone will recognize my pitiful plight and offer me any encouragement. Little did he know that Jesus was going to pass by where he was that day. And there are those about us who have been victimized by their own addictions. They are unable to go a day without hitting the bottom or taking a puff. You may be wondering, like the blind man, is there any hope? But I must tell you today, there is hope. My second point is the crying of Bartimaeus. He was a beggar. The crying of the begging of Bartimaeus was attributed to his condition. See, when a person is helpless, as Bartimaeus was, he would gladly beg to receive those things necessary to his existence. As lost sinners, we must come to the place that we are beggars too. Being very much aware of our unhappiness. As I remember one person saying years ago, you have to get a person lost before you can get them saved. But that the person must be convinced that he is indeed lost. And there was a perception and a persistence involving his crying. See, Bartimaeus, he could not see Jesus, but he heard that it was Jesus. Bartimaeus obviously had heard about the blind man who had been blind since birth, being healed, and he wished the same for himself. And can you imagine the thrill of thinking that Jesus would do the same for him? This man illustrates that faith cometh by hearing. See, no one could go or stop Bartimaeus from crying out. And I could imagine Bartimaeus crying unto him, Lord, do it for me. Do it for me right now. And this reminds me of a person getting under conviction. When a person is convinced of his desperate condition and is convinced that there is someone there for him, he will gladly come to the source of divine healing. And my third point is the confidence of Bartimaeus. He was a believer. See, the text shows that the blind Bartimaeus believed that Jesus was able to heal him. We see both a demonstration of this kind of faith and a confirmation of this kind of faith. See, Bartimaeus' demonstration and confirmation of his faith is when he cried for mercy. There were those who had no pity for him and told him to keep quiet. But Jesus did not have that type of attitude. He stood still and he called for him. See, Bartimaeus responded by casting off his garment. See, when Jesus called him, he slung it off as though to say, I won't need this anymore. See, when Jesus steps in, you no longer have to cling to whatever is weighing you down. Jesus told him that thy faith has made thee whole. It was the word of Jesus that assured him. Likewise, we get our assurance as believers from the Word of God. But as I get ready to hasten to a close, I want to poll the congregation this morning and ask the question, have you ever called on the Lord to do something for you when you felt like things were not going the way that you wanted them to go? You were so sick in your body and you just asked the Lord, do it for me. Do it for me right now. See, I'm a living testimony. He did it for me. It was 18 years ago when I recall myself just lying. Lying in the hospital. When the doctors wanted to say this and that, and said they could do nothing else but God. See, I know I had the prayers of others going up for me, but I had to do it and know for myself and go boldly before Him and ask, Lord, do it. Do it for me right now. See, you have to learn to have that forsaking all, I trust Him faith. Knowing that now unto Him, He was able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can ask or think. See, when you're feeling like all hope is gone, Lord, do it. children don't want to act right, Lord, do it. When the bills become overwhelmed, Lord, do it. When you've gotten or you've been given a bad doctor's report, Lord, do it. When your boss seems to constantly nag you about nothing, Lord, do it. That family member not acting right, Lord, do it. You trying to put that bottle down, Lord, do it. You trying not to sustain from peer pressure, Lord, do it. Because with those 3 words, Lord, do it, He can turn that chaos into order. He can turn that crisis into a solution. He can turn your discouragement into hope. He can turn your solution into company. He can turn your poverty into riches. Turn your weakness into power. But over 2,000 years ago, the Lord did it for you and for me. He did it when He wore that crown of thorns put up on His head. He did it when He carried that old rugged cross. He did it for us when they nailed His hands to the cross. He did it for us when He stayed there, never saying a mumbling word. He did it for us. But that's not how the story ends. But after 3 days, He did it for us. When He got up early Sunday morning with all power shut up in His hand, power to heal, power to deliver, power to set free. As with all things in the Christian church, our call is to do what the Lord instructed us to do, not to second guess motives or issues in His order. I tell you, it's something about them 3 words. Lord, do it. And if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed and speak them 3 words, Lord, do it. And watch things work out for you. But let me give you 5 reasons why the Lord can do it. And He's doing it for me.